Hey guys, it's Sarah with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we have a review and install of the Baer Sport Drilled and Slotted 6-lug rotors for the front, fitting your 10 to 20 two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive F-150 models. These are perfect for the F-150 owner who's looking for some additional stopping power and wants an upgraded rotor that is both drilled and slotted. These are ideal for the daily driver who wants an upgrade. Maybe you have larger wheels and tires like us, or you're just looking for some additional stopping power. These get the job done while keeping your brakes cool and clean. This kit consists of both front one-piece drilled and slotted zinc-plated cast steel rotors with this vented vane design that enhances braking performance and cooling. So as far as price goes, these come in at around $300, making them about middle of the road price-wise when compared to other options. And keep in mind, these are drilled and slotted, where some other options may be one or the other, and they're from a trusted brand while still saving you some money over Baer's more expensive options. I'm giving this install a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. It features direct bolt-up install and can be done within 3 hours. So with that said, let's jump into our install. For this install, you will need impact guns or a ratchet, a caliper hanger tool, or you can use a bungee cord if you don't have one, 10 and 13 millimeter sockets, and you'll also need a 21. It helps if it's a swivel. All right, so the first step in our install with the truck in the air and the wheel off is to remove the 10 millimeter bolt that's holding on our brake line. This will give our brake line a little more room, and so we won't put any tension on it. We're also gonna pop this ABS sensor line out of the brake line just to give it a little more room. Just remember to pop it back in when we're done. Grab your 10 millimeter socket and remove this bolt right here. And remove the bracket out of the knuckle. All right, so the next step is to remove these two 13 millimeter bolts out of the back of the caliper. We have a hanger tool here. You can use a bungee cord if you don't have this, but it's just to keep the caliper out of the way so we're not putting tension on the brake line. So grab a 13 millimeter socket and remove these two bolts. Make sure your caliper is supported, keep a hand on it. Once the bolts are out, you can wiggle it loose and hang it off to the side. All right, so the next step in our uninstall is to remove these two 21 millimeter bolts. Now, if you like, you can leave the caliper in place and just remove these and pull it off as a unit, but I think this way it allows you to see the brake pads a little better, see if anything needs to be replaced, and it's not that much extra work, so we just take that out of the way for now. So grab your 21 millimeter socket. We are using a swivel socket because it makes it a little bit easier here, and remove these bolts. Grab the bracket and remove it off the truck. All right, so at this point you can remove your rotor. One trick I like to do is I like to throw a lug nut on here for now, just because as you saw when we moved the bracket off, this is ready to come off. Now, if for some reason your rotor is not, you can use a hammer, a rubber mallet, and tap around the edge here to loosen it up. Sometimes they get a little rusty and they don't want to come off. All right, now that we have the factory rotor uninstalled from our truck, we can check it out side by side with our Baer rotor. And as you can see, this one is drilled and slotted, so it's gonna increase the performance over your OE. The drilling and slotting helps wipe away dirt and debris, keeping your brakes cool and clean, as I said before. They also add some bite, which is gonna increase the performance of your braking as well. So with that said, let's finish up our install. All right, so now we can get the rotor installed on our truck. Now, since these are drilled and slotted, they're directional, so make sure you're grabbing the proper side. We're working on the driver's side, so grab the driver or left side, and Baer has included a nice diagram that helps with that. And at this point, it's not a bad idea to hit it with a little brake clean front and back to get rid of the oils from the factory. Once you've done that, grab your rotor and line it up with your studs. I'm gonna throw a lug nut on there just for safety. Now you can grab your bracket and line it up over top of your rotor. Line it up with the holes on your knuckle. Now, although we're not changing the brake pads, Might be a good idea to take a look at them while we're in here and change them if they look low. Maybe add a little grease, make sure they're functioning properly. Grab your 21mm socket, tighten these down. All right, we moved our caliper to the side just to give you guys a better look at the back of that. So grab your caliper, remove it off the hanger. Get it reinstalled over top of your brake pads. Now keep in mind, if you have changed your brake pads, you will want to push in the caliper. You can do that with a caliper tool or a C-clamp. Because we have not changed the brake pads, this should still slide over top. Thread in your bolts. Grab your 13mm socket and tighten them down. All right, once everything is back together and tight, you can reinstall the bracket for your brake line. So just go ahead and make sure the pin is in here. Reinstall the bolts. Grab your 10mm socket and tighten it down. Don't forget to reinstall the ABS line. All right, so once this side is complete, you want to repeat this process on the other side. And when you're done with both, especially if you change your brake pads, go ahead and pump the brakes, test them out before you drive anywhere. But that is going to do it for the review and install of our rotors. And remember, for all things Ford, keep it at AmericanTrucks.com.